Let me get this straight. You blew up a building.
2 CIs and the CEO of 22andU.
Two competing federal agencies with the same mission.
I don't understand why those Fed a-holes are so darn mean.
To protect the public from the scourge of dangerous misinformation.
You know those bum idiots. This is all them. We had a solid case.
The word entrapment, not even in their vocabulary.
The explosives we provided were fake.
Sworn to a duty to always tell the truth.
We have no indication at this time that this was a deliberate act.
We're all being transferred.
To where?
The only place currently with openings. Alaska.
Good morning.
Welcome to the office, huh?
And we got the retro feel. You know, the funny about federal buildings, they're all different, but they're still somehow all the same.
Oh, good morning, Agent Walker. At the coffee station. We actually drew straws before he got here, and I won, so we get to work together.
Let's get started. Let's see if we can't stir something up.
Let's give it a minute. I like to warm up the truth muscles, a little coffee beforehand.
Well, what do you want to do first?
What do we have for a surveillance van?
Oh, wow. I got a Ford Explorer. We don't have a surveillance van.
Do you put up many cases here?
Cases?
Yeah, cases. We're the tip of the spear when it comes to protecting American democracy.
You really believe this? You really believe that people posting crap online is going to cause our country to crumble?
I think the work that we do is important.
We don't have a surveillance van.
Me and some people got one. We've never needed one.
We need a surveillance van. We need a big case or a CI who can lead us to a big case.
What do you need the van for?
Surveillance.
CIs, or confidential informants, are the lifeblood of any good law enforcement agency. Public posts on social media are one of the best ways to find CIs. Agents would never use coercion or take things out of context to try and persuade someone to become a confidential informant.
New Taylor Swift single is absolute fire. I'm just seeing a lot of incendiary and violent language here.
Agents always need to be on their toes and ready to make snap decisions.
Is there anything I can do for you guys?
Actually, David, there is something you can do for us.
Chicky nuggies.
Chicky nuggies.
What?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. McDonald's cheeseburger.
Burger King.
Burger King cheeseburger.
Flame broiled.
And chicken nuggets.
Oh, baby, know you're gonna like it. I wanna be your beaver pilot. Said, honey, know you're gonna like it. I wanna be.
Awesome, right?
Is this a loner?
This thing's totally legit.
What is this? It's got windows!
I got a mouthful of food. I do. Yep. Oh, nice. Well, lucky me. I see you. Something wrong with my name, though. Yeah, I hear you. And I see you.
All right, let's see if that works. Hello.
Well, I hear a lot of you there.
Oh my God, I am back. Look at that.
You're back several times. What's going on there?
I don't know, dude. I have no idea.
You've got an early echo.
Oh, hang on.
That's much better. I hear you fine.
Everybody else doesn't. Now you
I'm in the
probably
same. Now I hear the echo again, but I'm in the same room with you, so I'm going to hear you no matter what.
Yep. Nope. Now you're going to hear the echo again. Yeah. Okay, let me. Oh man, we are trying. We really are trying to get this done to where it's like 1 sec. So hang on a sec. I got.
Did you engage the chorus pedal?
Meter. Like no. No. Thanks. How about
putting it down here?
No, mute right there. Okay, now can you hear me? Now do you hear the echo?
No.
Okay. Hey, and we're both still there. Oh my gosh.
All right, good stuff.
Woo! So that's the thing is we had this all set up and it sounded really nice.
Yeah, it's real sharp.
Yep, but then we didn't. So, oh shoot! But I just remembered you're not going to be able to hear the video, Michael.
Oh, so now I don't even get the delay. You get no sound at all with the video.
Right. Well, you can unmute it when we play a video, and then you'll just have to mute it when the video is over.
The one I just.
What's that?
The one I just turned off?
No, where you just muted at that A1. When we play something, you're just going to have to unmute it so you can hear the video and then mute it again.
Mm-hmm.
Until I can figure out a way to do it differently. So, hello everybody. Hi, Kathy, Mom, Patty. So yeah, so now that you can all hear us, we saved Patty from watching storage videos.
I'm sure they're exciting.
And she's like, I need to find a storage unit auction around here. And I've talked to you about doing a storage unit auction.
They're a big scam.
You don't like storage unit auctions?
No, to me, it's just too easy for them to basically stick it to you and pull a fast one on you.
Right. So you think they're not on the up and up?
I would say it's too easy for them to, you end up with a lot of empty boxes. You know what I mean?
Right. But you don't think you think they go through the stuff like prior to?
I think I would.
Right. You think you if you were a storage unit owner, you would go through the stuff first, take out the cool stuff, and then give people the bull crap. I ask you that just as you stuff your
Right. I'm done now. Well, I don't know, because now that I think about it, I'd be going through locks quite often, cutting them off, where it'd be obviously cheaper on my end if we cut the customer's lock off,
Right.
instead of me having to put basically, like a faux lock that I'm just going to cut off for show.
Oh, I got you.
So,
yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, that's one way, but that could still be the illusion of we're cutting this off. Everything's on the up and up.
What is that? Is that your alarm? And the alarm's going off here in the show, in the store. Not sure why. No, those, I find them intriguing. I think and I don't know what, I mean, both of us have been here all night. Neither of us set the alarm. It says it's disarmed. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. No, those, yeah, no, I think they're intriguing. I do. I think that, I don't know. I have a friend whose family does run some of those things. I don't think they would be going through the stuff beforehand. And I think, someplace like here, like Michael's place, if you can find some decent furniture in there, then you should kind of go for that. I don't know. It's an interesting dilemma. Mm. Yeah. Certain signs that nobody's been in the units for a while, you mean? Or well, hello. Uncivil. Oh. It is going wonderfully. How are you?
I don't know what that alarm was.
Oh, we had an alarm going off in the somewhere, but it's not.
Could be next door neighbor.
It could have been the office next door to us, but yes. Wow. Thanks for dropping by, Kurt. We really appreciate it.
I was thinking maybe it was the laser burner, but one, that's never happened, and two, it was coming from over here, not over there.
Yep. Yeah, Michael, show off your
1 second.
Show off your thing there.
Michael, that's open-ended there. Careful what you wish for, sir.
Do not show off your thing. Show off your Michael recently got a wood burning laser
A laser engraver.
Well, thank you. A laser engraver. So Michael's does lots of things. He's also got a couple of 3D printers. In fact, we were thinking about doing some 3D printing 3D printing streams, but yeah. Oh, the case, man, Kurt, the case is the case is a mess. It's an absolute mess. There's the latest burn and colored in after the burn, but
I gave it some more life.
Cool. Yep. But the case, I watched all of the first trial. This trial is completely, and we knew it would be different with a different prosecutor, but it just I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on it, but it's just, it's different than the first case. And it just feels like there's not even though Lally was horrible at asking questions, he was horrible at guiding people through what he was trying to do. He was somewhat effective at getting evidence out there. But Brennan just is a completely different, completely opposite. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm hearing an echo. Why did this kick in again? But it's just it's crazy. I don't know. It's and I think the defense has stumbled a few times as well, just kind of getting things out of whack and I don't know. It all depends on how the jury is going to see it, right? It all depends on how the jury finds this.
It's not
finds the
painting a
credibility.
flattering, not painting a flattering picture of criminal justice in Massachusetts.
No, it's very, very far from
flattering.
Flattering. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, that would work because you can do leather with the to switch your gears back again to the laser engraver. You could definitely do leather on that, right, Michael?
You could do leather, glass, porcelain. It just really doesn't matter if heat's going to affect it in any way. You could do it.
No, it's really cool. You've been
yeah. There's a couple different steps when you say like when you're etching into glass, because you have to paint it first, and then let that paint not just dry but cure, and then you burn that, and then you scrape off all the paint that didn't get burnt through. But you know, it can be pretty neat.
No, yeah.
But basically, no wood is safe around me anymore.
No, you've been a burning fool. Hunk of burning Michael.
It is. I am losing sleep over the deal too, because I can't just like set it and walk away.
On a laser printer, you can, or not the laser printer, but the
3D printer, you can.
3D
yeah,
printer, you can just come back the next morning. When you're burning wood, no, you don't want to just leave it in your store. You'll come back to no store.
I am glad I figured out how I could actually, turn it off. And as long as I leave it right there and it doesn't get bumped or anything like that, I can come back later, turn it back on. So that helps. But the way I have it set up now, I still can't like do it during store hours, because I'd have to like warn every customer, don't stare at the light.
You could just it'd be like the movie theater. You could put a whole box of sunglasses right at the end. Instead of handing out 3D glasses, you just hand out the sunglasses to not stare at the thing.
That and there's not really fumes when you're burning wood, but it does smell like you're burning wood.
Yes.
So that kind of just turns off a couple of customers,
Oh yeah, no, exactly. All right, back to the case. I think what you're saying is correct. They're very aggressive, especially when they're trying to get people to admit things. And then in the first trial, there was hit after hit after hit, like especially after like the first 3 days. You just had some of the crazy stuff. You had the blood evidence in the cups. You had the freaking leaf blower. You had
the overnight in someone's car.
Yeah, and then the butt dials and the whole thing, right? You had so much, just bam after bam after bam after bam. And this trial, and I realize most trials are like this. Most trials are watching paint dry, and there's, it's maneuvering. So you don't normally get the fireworks that you had in the first Karen Reed trial. But you're right. I think the defense is trying to make, they're trying to score big points like they did in the first trial, but it's not as teed up as it was in the first trial. Like some of that stuff that they tried to bring in was just like out of this world. Like, yeah, we took a leaf blower, and then the neighbor, who's another cop, gave us some red Solo cups, and that's where we put the blood. And then we left the blood laying right next to the car in the Sally port. So you could just take some of the blood and sprinkle it. It's like, what is this? Whereas this trial started just super slow. It's like very, very slow. So I don't know.
It's funny, all the things that should have been inadmissible in the first trial, you would think would be unadmissible in the second trial. So this trial we're going to allow the tainted blood in? Why not? That's how we're going to get the conviction.
Yeah, and then the whole hey, we're going to have these little clips play right before every single witness comes up.
I still don't understand how that's happening.
We're going to introduce each witness with a little video clip. It's like this isn't the Emmys or the Oscars where you get to play a little montage before the next presenter comes up. I mean, this is an actual criminal trial, but it just doesn't. I don't know.
In each witness has like an intro music or something.
Yeah, right. No,
Yeah.
exactly. No, and that makes Kurt. Yeah, I mean, play it softer with some of these witnesses, which can be. I mean, you can have some sympathetic witnesses here with firefighters and EMTs are not normally people that the defense should be going after with like all the barrels, right? So, I mean, yeah, kind of. I don't know. It's tough. It is very. It's going to be interesting as we get more and more into the meat of the trial because and two, there just hasn't been any evidence yet. There has not been anything presented that shows that Karen Reed ran into him with a car. I mean, it's all been either very, very circumstantial or it's been emotional. You've had emotional and you've had circumstantial evidence. And that seems like the only thing that you've had at all so far.
I'm just waiting for, it's like, why are you charging my client? Well, we got to charge someone.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the person that knew him the most. That's quite obvious then.
Yeah. And then, I mean, some of the stuff that Bev's letting in and one side gets chided for supposed discovery violations and the other side just gets to.
She's not letting anyone forget about that discovery violation.
Oh, no.
And it wasn't really obvious to me what the discovery violation was. You know what I mean? Because he was talking about, nonsense that they pulled. And the judge just says, I think maybe she forgot who's who.
Yeah. I mean, it's like is there really a rule that you have to preserve every single text message that you send to an expert? I mean, is that really a rule?
I would assume that if you're put on notice to preserve.
Right. But she's talking about text messages from like 2 years before.
Yeah, we just had a homicide
trial here, or
no, defendant have the homicide charges removed, or the manslaughter, whatever, basically the death charges removed from the lady because evidence was destroyed intentionally, but through without malice from the team destroying it. Just they weren't aware that there was going to be a case about this. So
gotcha.
they just disposed of the evidence as routine housekeeping because it a couple of years ago. And now fast forward a couple of years and the prosecutor wants to prosecute someone over it. You go, we destroyed that, and we think the lab destroyed their records out of just regular routine, Well, I don't think the defendant can actually put on a fair case. So we can't really charge her.
Oh, my goodness.
Much the way I think Chauvin should have never been tried.
Yeah.
Well, because of his motion for change of venue, and the judge says, I don't think there's a court in this state that you're going to get a fair jury. Well, I'm entitled to one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Minnesota. I mean,
like, sure, but still, it's the way the law works across the whole country.
Yeah, you would think so. You would think but yeah.
But no, we had to have that trial.
Right. No, exactly. Had to. It had to be. Yeah, and I think she's definitely set up a pellet issue after a pellet issue after a pellet issue.
Yeah.
If somehow this is that you find a jury that will convict on all charges. I mean, yeah, I it seems like the defense is trying to put on more of a defense this time because I think they felt really cocky last time that ARCA would come in and be their because they did like 5 or 6 witnesses. That was all they had on their defense last time was 5 or 6 witnesses. So I think they felt overconfident that the scientific evidence that they had, which was very good, but I think they got a little overconfident that it would save the day, that it would be the end all be all. And so then you had like 8 people say that she was guilty of one of the charges, and it took like 3 or 4, it was at least 8 people that said, we we think she's guilty of something. And so, you've got to put on a more aggressive defense this time. But yeah, it's just the second trial is weird. It's just really weird.
I don't understand the seating in that courtroom either. Watching the pictures, you got the judge and then 2 rows of people, like she's teaching a class or something. I mean, where's prosecutor? Where's defendant? Because just the way they're set up, front and back.
Oh, right. No, exactly. Well, the prosecution is in front and the defense is in the back
instead of side by side.
Because that is just, yeah, I guess that's the way it works.
Right. Yeah, they seem to be, going along with it, whatever the program is.
Oh, yeah.
That was my fault.
What are you doing over there?
My sign fell.
Oh, your bug stomper. I got you. Yeah, no, it's been yeah, I don't know. It's just been a goat rope. I mean, that's about all you can really say. Yeah, no, I mean, I think there might have been a reason for her to recuse herself. I think she is probably pretty close to some of these people, but I mean, it's a small area. I mean, Canton is not a big place, right? So I don't know. It's
Are they like in rural Massachusetts?
No, it's right outside of Boston.
Okay.
I mean, it's like a Boston bedroom community because I mean,
it is a unique part of the world there. I mean, you got 10 minutes, it could be in a totally different state or, half a mile away from where you started.
Right. Yeah, no, right. Ooh.
I remember when I was in Fort Devens, Massachusetts, right outside Boston, about 30 miles northwest, I think it was, from Boston. But if you wanted a tattoo, you had to drive up to the nearest spot was Nashua, New Hampshire, because you're not allowed to get one in Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was just a 20-minute drive to Nashua, New Hampshire.
Yeah, and I think that they have a bigger what it got is they have a bigger courtroom, and that's where they do their like briefs and their other, the outside of the trial, right? This courtroom, the jury, the entire jury can't see the witness box from the big courtroom. So
weird.
Yeah, so they were like saying
that should be like designed into it.
You would think, And so the defense was saying, well, we want the jury to be able to see people's faces. I mean, you can kind of see their side of you're basically sitting behind them almost. So you can't see their face. You can see the person in the witness box, but you can't see them completely. And so the smaller courtrooms got it so the entire jury can see the entire, see all the faces, everybody's lovely faces of the jury. So, yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand what they were talking about on Friday. They were going to voir dire an issue, and isn't voir dire like jury selection? And shouldn't they already have their jury selected?
No, they do. They have to. This is the ARCA issue. This is the it's a couple issues that she's complaining about. One, there is the defense had to pay for like the travel of the witnesses in the first trial, right?
It's pretty common.
Well,
each side pays for the witness they're calling.
Yeah, but they said they didn't pay ARCA for their reports and stuff. But then ARCA sent them a bill afterwards for their travel and their, hotels and all that, right? Well, the prosecution is saying, well, you said you didn't pay them for their testimony. This is paying them for their testimony, so they should be precluded from testifying in this thing. And they're like, this bill just showed up. I don't know what you're talking about, And so that's one of the issues. Two was the text messages, the 100 or so text messages that have been summarized, right? They turned over a summary of all of the text messages, but she's mad because they didn't keep the actual all 100 or 200 or how many ever freaking text messages it was. And in perpetuity, I guess. So I don't know.
And they were destroyed or deleted, whatever, just through housekeeping, not through, like trying to hide, right?
Right. And that's what, his argument was, well, these were deleted in due course. And a couple of times she said, well, I don't know what due course means. You're going to have to explain that to me. I mean, the prosecution can show up with brand new evidence the day that they're going to use it. And the defense can't has to keep every single text message that they, go back and forth with, even though they have. Oh yeah, no, it's a mess, dude. It's an absolute mess. So there was actually testimony today too, believe it or not. They went to the they went and looked at 34 Fairview Road today, the jury did. And then they went to then they came back to the courthouse and they actually ended up having some testimony today. So I guess they got kind of test. There was something that it got kind of testy, like the second half of somebody's like the second firefighter. Yeah, let me share my screen. We'll try and find it. Well, let's take a look at uncivil law. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully, you'll tell the people about this. But Kurt, uncivil law, he streamed this trial. He's one of the lawyers out there that is streaming this trial. So let me share my screen on what I'm going to do. Make sure we share the audio. Okay. And then I think I can. So let me tell me if this works. Don't unmute your thing. Just tell me if this works. Tell me if you can hear the audio from this.
Yes.
Could you hear the audio?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then are you hearing like an echo or double anything or any of that?
No.
No, not at all.
No, we're good.
Okay, good. All right, it's actually working. So this is the prosecutor right here. I think this is it. This is the prosecutor right here. Oh, you can't hear the audio? Really? Why can't you guys hear the audio? Okay. In my screen share. Give me 1 second. Okay. Share my screen, entire screen. Screen 1, and also share the system audio. Okay. Share. All right. Let me see. Okay, tell me if you can hear this. I am playing it. Can you hear audio? So you can he's a little testy. Nope, and you have an echo now too. God. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to do this differently. Okay, I can't. That doesn't make any sense. We got new microphones. I got a whole new system set up, but of course, it's messing with me. All right. Bear with me. Oh. Okay. I'll get this.
Hello, everyone, and good morning, and welcome to Uncivil.
All right. There's Uncivil Law. All right, let me go back to where I was. If I can find it. Okay, firefighter guy. Let me know if I got an echo.
Yeah. And me.
What do you mean?
I have a monitor. And you sound a bit different. But,
well, yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
All right, well, bring it on.
Release you for today. Now, when I told you this.
Nope. Let's go back a little bit. Yeah, it seems like he's arguing with his own witness here.
Talked, she had gotten into an argument. So she was upset that that was like her last words to him.
Go back a little bit. Because you don't normally want to argue with your own witness, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can set it up, but I mean, you don't normally a firefighter witness. You don't really want to. You don't really want to argue with them.
Sir, when Ms. Reed told you that she was sad because her last conversation or her last thing that she had said to him was an argument. Did she ever suggest that was in a voicemail?
Objection.
Did she ever suggest it was in a voicemail?
She did not.
Did she ever suggest that she didn't actually speak to him, but instead it was some type of message?
Objection. I'll allow that.
Did she ever suggest that?
She did not.
In fact, you wrote a report.
I noticed that they've got this view. They got this view of the defense here. It's a little bit out of sync, but that's an interesting one. I hadn't seen that before, so that's kind of cool.
Saying that there was an argument earlier in the night, didn't you?
Objection. Sustained.
You then were interviewed, weren't you? You interviewed on February 14th, 2022?
Yes.
And you referred to the fact that she told you there was an argument earlier in the night?
Argument early in the night.
Okay. And she was telling you this when you were speaking to her that morning?
Correct. Around 6 a.m.
Right.
Yes.
And earlier in the night, do you know if she was referring to 12:30?
I did not know.
Or 12:15?
No.
Or midnight?
I didn't know the time.
His answer is he doesn't know.
You testified in the grand jury, and Attorney Jackson just asked you some questions about part of the statement you made to the grand jury when he said, like her last words. Would you like to put that in context of the whole statement you made? Do you remember
her last words?
Do you remember the entire statement that you made in the grand jury about the statement that was made to you?
I'd have to.
May I approach?
Yes.
So it just seems like everybody's going to beat up every witness. I mean, what are you doing here? How does this prove that she ran him over with a car? That she said that they got in an argument and her last words were bad. How is that?
You weren't actually hoping for proof, were you?
Yes, was hoping for some proof.
Yeah,
some proof that
really,
there was actually, malice or whatever.
Intent,
Yeah. You you'd kind of like to see that, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, it's read about it somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So, okay. What we wanted to do tonight was to try and find the top 5 crazy things that Brennan has done so far in this trial. And we're going to make a little compilation video of that. So I wrote down some of the ones that I saw. The heart rate data stuff's got to be number 1, right?
That is some suspect stuff right there. That is some suspect testimony they got going on with that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to, and there's no expert witness or anything that's going to say that your heart rate increases when you're in part of a
conspiracy.
You're part of a criminal conspiracy. So, all right. And, we're going to do this through some of these awesome people who are covering this trial, gavel to gavel, and offering legal opinion while it's happening. So let's see if we can find. So let's go ahead and find the heart rate data. And I think Emily had the best reaction to that. So let's find us an Emily clip of that craziness.
Oh, Emily.
Yeah. All right. So that I think was on day 2. All right, let me try and find that. So here are the ones. Okay, so let's go through the ones I got here. So we had the heart rate data. That's got to be number one, right? And then there was one point where he was when he was talking to Carrie Roberts, and instead of saying when you were being interviewed by the police, he said when you were being influenced by, and he said influence, and then he caught himself, stopped what he was saying, and then redid it. So I think that's a good one too. What do you think?
You know, after you've said the quiet part out loud, you really shouldn't try and cover that up.
Mm-hmm. And then the
just gotta keep talking and hope no one noticed.
And then the part about you have to think about if experts can watch the testimony,
even though that's already been decided through, decades of case practice or
right?
courtroom procedure.
No, exactly. Courtroom procedure and all that. Yeah, you would think that
no need to change that now.
Yeah, I mean, why would you change that all of a sudden? Why would you think, oh yeah, I think I will not want just this whole thing is it's maddening, man. It's really maddening. All right, at least the echo's gone for now. I think if I mute it if I unmute while we're watching video, then you could hear the video when I was playing it, right?
Me, yes.
Okay, good. All right. And then the ARCA stuff, we got to figure out some of the ARCA stuff to get in there. And then I think Melanie Little had a good one when she was when he was arguing with his own witness there today. So all right, so heart rate data, let's see if we can find the heart rate data. Let's see, Control F, heart. Okay, so
that one? Was it that one?
To cross-examine or suggest that a phone call occurred at 2:27.
Weird.
This would be to rebut that
All the
information.
questions one might ask.
I could have waited until after the cross-examination and then sprung this as a surprise upon the defense because it is powerful evidence showing her heart rate is inconsistent with being in a criminal conspiracy, yet we provided it in advance so they'd have notice.
What expert evidence do you have to say what somebody's heart rate would be like if they're involved in a criminal conspiracy?
That was my first question.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Okay. There's that. Actually, I want to see because I think there is another. That was day 2, right? Day 2. This dude, day 2.
That refresh your recollection as to what you.
Okay, I want to see what. This is Runkle of the Bailey, and he's a Canadian lawyer. He is really funny though, and I think he went off a little bit about this heart rate thing too. So let me see what we can find here.
So your Apple Watch isn't going to be accurate necessarily about your heart rate. And so it's like, so we've taken this super inaccurate heart rate monitor and we've used that to determine whether or not she could have been like, this is Brennan. I just want, and I didn't see much commentary about this online.
All right, go back a little bit. Here we go. This is the whole thing here.
Something about 227. If the defense is to cross-examine or suggest that a phone call occurred at 227, this would be to rebut that information. I could have waited until after the cross-examination and then sprung this as a surprise upon the defense because it is powerful evidence showing her heart rate is inconsistent with being in a criminal conspiracy, yet we provided it in advance so they'd have notice days before Trooper Garino would even testify.
Whoa! What the fuck are we talking about? He wants to tender her heart rate to say that her heart is not sufficiently beating for her to be involved in a criminal conspiracy. What the fuck expert are you going to tender for a heart rate being consistent with or inconsistent with a criminal conspiracy? This is not even as good as a lie detector. But
hey, you said that yesterday, didn't you?
This is basically saying, like, I am sorry. This is freaking crazy. And I bet they've got a lessee right now. I bet they've got a lessee working on a you don't get to tender this crap because what the fuck? No. So let's talk about killers. Let's talk about criminals.
Yeah. Is your heart rate supposed to go up if you're in a criminal conspiracy?
Well, when it comes to a lie detector machine, there's quite a few sensors they hook up to you, and one of them is a cardio cuff.
Okay.
So your heart rate changes, whether it goes up or down, I don't know,
Right.
but it's one of the things they measure. But still, there's not a court in this country that allows a lie detector test in its evidence. So I don't understand why you're just merely your heart rate on an uncalibrated device.
Right, because an Apple Watch is not.
Yeah,
not a. Yeah, that's not a.
I mean, if it was never calibrated and calibrated and you got no idea like when the last time it was updated, that sort of thing, I couldn't imagine that this would be,
right,
any sort of offer of evidence.
No, exactly.
Straight up. And if I'm the judge, I would have just been like, I can tell you right now, Mr. Brennan, I am not letting you testify about heart rate being inconsistent without an expert. That is.
And the craziest thing is the judge didn't bat an eye, dude.
Well,
didn't bat an eye.
But did the other side object?
I think they were probably just. Well, I mean, you're not in front of the jury, so I mean.
But if you don't object to it,
so this was like they were making arguments about this, so it's not.
Yeah.
So before they let any of that in, there would be very rigorous motions filed back and forth. So
sure,
yeah.
Okay, and that's your objection is your motion.
Yeah, exactly. So they would have to, even though this was in discovery, that's not something you could do without an expert opinion. You just couldn't say because her heart rate didn't go up at 227 in the morning when she.
It's common knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not a common knowledge thing that an Apple Watch reading your heart rate means, oh my God. Okay. So what we're going to do right now is record this so we can use this into our video. All right, so where do I want to start that? Yeah, I want to start it right here. So give me a moment. set this up.
The reason I turned that over was
nope.
The reason I turned
nope. Stop doing that. And then F11 it. Give me the game bar.
Oops.
That over was to be transparent and to be collegial. We would not introduce it on direct, but as Your Honor ordered, there was an order not to get into third-party culprit evidence. Jennifer McCabe was never identified as a third-party culprit, yet in the opening, the defense suggested something about 227. If the defense is to cross-examine or suggest that a phone call occurred at 227, this would be to rebut that information. I could have waited until after the cross-examination and then sprung this as a surprise upon the defense because it is powerful evidence showing her heart rate is inconsistent with being in a criminal conspiracy, yet we provided it in advance so they'd have notice days before Trooper Garino would even testify.
Whoa! What the fuck are we talking about? He wants to tender her heart rate to say that her heart is not sufficiently beating for her to be involved in a criminal conspiracy. What the fuck expert are you going to tender for a heart rate being consistent with or inconsistent with a criminal conspiracy? This is not even as good as a lie detector, but this is basically saying, like, I am sorry, this is freaking crazy. And I bet they've got Alessi right now. I bet they've got Alessi working on a you don't get to tender this crap, because what the fuck? No. So let's talk about killers. Let's talk about criminals. So I've had clients who have killed people in the past. A few of them. And one of them, was like, just wanted to talk about it. And it was like, and he's just like, it's just like taking out the garbage. And anybody who's trying to guess which client, you are wrong. I can guarantee you that.
Okay. And then I want a little bit more of what he was saying. Mute so there's no echo. It's almost perfect, Michael. Our setup is almost perfect. It's getting there. It really is. A couple more little tweaks and it will be spot on bang. Okay, and then we'll go here. Open up the bar. Turn that off.
Not being on time.
All right, it's not recording. Why are you not recording?
I didn't hear any sound either.
I know.
And, that kind of thing. So, I mean...
Why is it not recording?
time. And, that kind of thing. So, I mean, the whole thing... Now, this to me is straight up ridiculous. Straight up. And if I'm the judge, I would have just been like, I can tell you right now, Mr. Brennan, I am not letting you testify about heart rate being inconsistent without an expert. That is completely not the thing. Now, the other thing I will talk about here is we're talking about like an Apple Watch. And you know what an Apple Watch is not? Your Apple Watch is not a medical device. Your Apple Watch is not a scientific device. And the reason why it is not is because it's not super accurate. It provides a good ballpark, but like my wife doesn't have an Apple Watch. She's got like a Fitbit.
Okay, that's good enough. Mute. Okay. So we got the first one. It still blows my mind, dude. It still blows my mind that you would try and even think that that would be something that would.
Yeah, you know, word of this gets out, it's probably going to, I imagine, cause Fitbits and Apple Watch sales to plummet, as people are going to be reluctant to wear them if they're going to be used against them in court, potentially.
I never thought of that, but you're right. Oh my God, it would blow the whole thing open, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, what are those? And then, you know, the government's gonna, you know, get with Apple on the backside and say, okay, so they're not buying the watches anymore. They're gonna have to find a way for the phones to monitor their hearts.
I can't. I don't even know.
I mean, Apple's already talked you into giving away your thumbprint, your retinas, and facial recognition and all that stuff. You're just downloading it to China.
Right. Okay.
Has anyone seen my tinfoil hat?
Right. And then let's see because
you know, you could jam a police radar gun by chewing your Wrigley spearmint gum with the foil wrapper still on it. You gotta chew real fast though.
Yep. Okay, so was it the end of day one when they were arguing about this whole? Let's hear what he had to say. Let's listen to this on day one, because I want to get something about the ARCA people in here, because it's just, you're right. It's just that these people are destroying our case, right? I mean, that's all it is. That's all he's got is ARCA is bad for our case. So they can't testify because they make us look dumb.
It's detrimental to my defense.
Yeah. It's totally detrimental to my defense.
No picture.
What's that?
No picture.
Thank you. I tried to fix that. I did.
ARCA can proffer new opinions, perhaps, depending on what's going on. Do I think the solution here is going to be ARCA comes in and has to do a voir dire day where they are questioned outside the presence of the jury? Probably. That's probably the resolution here. It was going to happen anyway, so that's probably the fix. ARCA is going to testify. If they're limited is the question.
Get right to the point.
Yes, please.
On the motion for compliance.
The point and the microphone.
Defense did not comply with your order. This is an ongoing issue which relates directly to the credibility of potential ARCA witnesses. This is information based on the history and representations made in this case that we're entitled to. I did note before these were produced that we have watched video footage from unaired video from the documentary. We clearly knew that there were text messages and correspondence beyond what was represented to the court.
What? And
it is not a surprise that I did receive these lists of text messages and calls after I made those comments. However, There's
I
no
don't
text
necessarily
message
believe what
content.
Brennan says.
There is 99 texts to Mr. Wolf.
There are 99 bottles of beer on the wall. I want to hear all sides of this because there are so many times that Brennan says, well, the defense has, and then you get to the end of it and you're like, okay, but that's not what happened. But I'm curious. Is it work product?
Woefully incomplete. Should I dive into the second motion?
Yes.
Take a move quickly.
Okay.
The second motion, part of it is moot in some respects. I won't go through the tortured history of discovery. We've gone through it too many times. We don't have time for it. But inevitably, it is clear that we have played by the rules, met our discovery obligations, and as we stand here now.
This guy claiming that the defense has met their discovery rules is the biggest crock of crap I've ever heard. Got anything to add?
No.
No?
No, I don't really. I'm having trouble following along because it's just odd.
Yeah, I know. It is odd. It is. It's nuts.
I'm sorry.
See,
I know I had popcorn for lunch, so maybe I'm hallucinating, but let me just back that up.
Motion, part of it is moot in some respects. I won't go through the tortured history of discovery. We've gone through it too many times. We don't have time for it. But inevitably, it is clear that we have played by the rules, met our discovery obligations, and as we stand.
Survey says.
All right, that's a good place to start. That is a good place to start. Right back there. So hang on. We're going to record just a little bit of that.
Through the tortured history of discovery. Motion, part of it is moot in some respects. I won't go through the available. I think it's relevant material. It's pursuant to your order. And
okay, we'll start right there.
this is woefully incomplete. Should I dive into the second motion?
Yes.
Take a move quickly.
Okay.
The second motion, part of it is moot in some respects. I won't go through the tortured history of discovery. We've gone through it too many times. We don't have time for it. But inevitably, it is clear that we have played by the rules, met our discovery obligations, and as we stand here now.
I'm sorry. I know I had popcorn for lunch, so maybe I'm hallucinating, but let me just back that up.
Motion, part of it is moot in some respects. I won't go through the tortured history of discovery. We've gone through it too many times. We don't have time for it. But inevitably, it is clear that we have played by the rules, met our discovery obligations, and as we stand.
Survey says.
We have played by the rules and met our discovery obligations. You know, by we, you're talking about the whole history of the case, right? Because you represent the prosecution. So it's not just like since you joined the case. Sir, look, I was born under a new moon. I am not new. What are you even representing to the court right now? There was no video. Then there was video. Then there was inverted video. Then there were missing parts of video. And then there was video on a drive that somebody just fucking found. And they're like, oh, look, we took out the video. And then we never knew about where the video came from or where the video went or who saved the video. Are you kidding me? We play by the rules. Sir. Look, discovery has not been smooth in this case, and you saying that you have played by the rules of discovery is just not an accurate representation. It's just not. Okay. And this is why when he's like, we didn't get all of this. It's like, okay. Are you entitled to all of it? Does all of it meet the court's order? Like, I don't even know. Tell me about it, but I don't know. Jeez.
Nope. And here now, the defense is proposing new opinions, new testing, and they don't even have the parts of that testing yet. This is 2 weeks ago.
Okay, tell me what ARCA did new. My brain is gone.
Okay. And then I want to get a little, let me mute. Okay. I want to get a little bit of the timeline from Alessi. Let me go to the timeline part.
The Commonwealth alleges.
Your Honor.
January 30th,
Defend.
2025.
I think I went back too far.
There were no substantive changes. There's
But when the Commonwealth said, Your Honor, we weren't ordered to preserve digital evidence.
Okay, I think I'm gonna switch now. Oop. One second degree murder trial, dude. 1 second degree murder trial.
Crime of the century.
In a small town in Massachusetts, and you have all of this. I don't even know. Okay, so that was date 1, right? That was the end of day 1, which was April 23rd, I do believe. So let's see if Kurt said anything about that. All right, let me. Was it? Maybe that's. That was day 1, right? Yeah, day 1. April 23rd. Did he not catch the thing at the end? I guess maybe he did not. No, because I think they went away. They went away for quite a while. And then they came back. All right, we'll go to somebody else here. Dude, it's so crazy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back into another episode of The Lawyer You Know. It was a short day in court, but something big.
I remember to share this tab instead. Are you proud of me?
Yes, well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for your support,
Okay,
Michael.
so we're going to have a
Yes.
voir
I
dire
don't
of
know what I'd do without
Orca.
you.
They've been building
Probably
up
talk
to
to yourself.
that for.
of the aperture.
Oh, I talk to myself all the time.
That was supposed.
Whoa. That was not supposed to be happening. All right.
Supposed to be have two. We accepted it, and Archworth agrees to redact and revise this because we won't have enough time to address it. The time we've turned over all emails.
All right. Let's just start here. Actually, go to full screen.
In Ms. Little's text we provided. There are no text messages in 2024, and there's no order that required those to be preserved, and there is no discovery violation because we can't be in violation of not turning over something that doesn't exist.
All right, go to the second.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Motion.
The second part of the motion, Your Honor, is the most maddening for the defense. And this is the timeline that I can go through very, very quickly. And essentially, what the Commonwealth just argued is we will be so prejudiced that if we get the work that ARCA is underway, working on, that we will be prejudiced because we won't have enough time to address it. Your Honor, the facts show that the timeline for this has been caused by the Commonwealth, not the defense. And I can do it quickly. July 2024, the first trial concludes. November 2024, 4 months later, the Commonwealth decides to retain Aperture. Their decision to wait 4 months to retain an expert, we're the defense. We defend what the Commonwealth alleges. January 30th, 2025, 2 months after that, and 6 months after the first trial, we get an Aperture letter report that's barely discernible about what they've done. It's a 1 page and 1/4 of conclusions and opinions in outline form. Next, January 31, 2025, we get the initial Aperture 140 slide presentation. January 31st, February 5th, we get the case file. In February of 2000, or February 19th, we finally get the raw images from Aperture in the scans. That's the first time we get raw images and scans. You can't have an expert work on anything until you even get those raw images in scans. We move, and we have a hearing on March 20, 2025, to preclude Dr. Welcher because the slides are so incoherent and the report is so insubstantial. We can't tell what it is their theory is. So then on March 24th, and at that hearing, the Commonwealth agrees to redact and revise that. So we're already into March 20th. The Commonwealth agrees to redact and revise. Your Honor put the defense on a short leash. We accepted it. And by March 24, we received the PowerPoint that was supposed of the Aperture that was supposed to have two things happen. It was supposed to be redacted, and there were certain things that were supposed to be changed. What did we get on March 24th? It wasn't redacted, and there were 3 substantive changes to it.
Okay. Now that's like four or 5 minutes worth of stuff. I'm going to condense it down to like 45 seconds. It will be a masterpiece. Do you doubt me?
No. Well, the masterpiece part, but the reduction, no, I could do that.
Whatever.
Well, I'm just saying, you're probably not going to get an Oscar for it.
No. Probably you're probably right. I probably won't get an Oscar for it.
Not even an Emmy.
Okay, so we got ARCA, we got heart rate data. Now we need to find that spot where he said influencing instead of all right, let's see what day that was. I think it was let's try day 3. Let's see. No, it was Carrie Roberts, so it would have been, I think it was day 2. Okay, let's see.
Rulings regarding our
Let's show the transcript.
because I still have the same concern about new information.
Yes.
Why would that change?
What do you mean?
All right. Influence. Let's see. Under the influence. That's not the one I'm looking for.
Brennan said, when you were being influenced,
Oh, it's right there. Okay. That's an easy find.
when you were being interviewed.
All right, day 2. Entertain us while I'm doing this, Michael.
No, I can't right now. I'm freezing, actually.
You're what?
Are you cold? I'm freezing.
It's a little chilly in here, yeah.
Yeah.
A little cold.
While you were being influenced, it's like while you were being coached and during your testimony rehearsal, did you cover?
My God, all of these witnesses seem like they're so coached. It's not even funny. It's not even funny.
Objection, they're going off script.
Oh my gosh, I know. Okay, share this tab instead. Let's see if I can find that in here. You want to turn the heat on?
Yeah, it'd be too noisy, I think.
Oh no, I've done it when
yeah, okay.
I've done it when while we've been streaming, it's been fine.
Okay, yeah.
It was 341 of hers. So yeah.
For the timeline, we already spoke
Michael's cold.
about that.
Timeline that gentleman. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that February 1st.
It's still during the cross. So was that during the recross or was that during the re-examination? So it was during redirect. Okay, it was during redirect. So we gotta find.
By another investigator.
There it is, right here.
When you were being interviewed by law enforcement, did you ever refuse to be interviewed?
No.
Were the interviews all the same or different?
AV didn't pick up on it. She didn't really react to it. I was hoping to get a reaction. So we might have to go. Might have to go with Emily again. I think we will. She's just so good. I mean, she's the best. She is the best. All right, we got to get that. Okay. Let's do it. Oh. Okay. All right, you got me there. All right. If Ricada picks up on it, I gotta go check that out. All right. Stop. There we go. Okay, good call. Oh yeah, Claire, I haven't even. All right. That was day 2. All right. Ooh, it's warming up in here quick. All right. Bring up the old transcript. Transcript. I mean, when you're looking for something on YouTube, the transcript is huge. It really is. It's freaking huge. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens here. All right. I like it. Maybe we'll get a couple of them because this is such a quick one. I think I'll do a couple of them, and then we kind of play. We can kind of look at a bunch of different reactions on that one since it's such a quick thing. I think we'll do that. That's a good idea. I have good ideas. Oh shoot! I am a dummy. Thank you. Sorry. I'm going to. I want to be able to just share this screen. I want to use this screen over here as my sharing screen, and I'm just going to share the screen and the video and the audio, and that's what I tried to do tonight. But then you couldn't hear it, so I got to figure out why. There's some tweaking of it. Okay, we're back on, and I'm recording. All right.
House whatsoever that morning?
No.
Were you ever asked
Only got
to
rid of that
go
guy, am I right?
into the house to look for him?
No.
When you were being interviewed by law enforcement, did you ever refuse to be interviewed?
No.
Were
When
the
you were being
interviews all the same or different?
They were all different.
Nice. All right. Let's see. Will. Okay, day 2. I like his thumbnails are good. His thumbnails are funny. All right. And share this tab. Ah, look, I remembered. Yay, me. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see what Will did.
Were you ever asked to go into the house to look for him?
No.
When you were being interviewed by law enforcement, did you ever refuse to be interviewed?
No.
Were the interviews all the same or different?
They were all different. They were.
He didn't catch it either. Dang. Melanie. See if she picked it up. Wait, what? How could she only have one on here? I'm on the right day. No, I'm on the wrong day.
Is
Trial 2, day 3. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Trial. Okay. I saw the 2 and I thought it was day 2. Day 2.
This was a motor vehicle accident.
All right. Now I'm cooking with fire here. I think I lost Michael. Okay, there we go. Now got it.
Were you ever asked to go into the house to look for him?
No.
Into 34 Fairview? Into what house?
When you were being interviewed by law enforcement, did you ever refuse to be interviewed?
No.
She didn't catch it either.
Were the interviews all the same?
Okay. All right. I guess it's going to be Emily. I guess we'll get her reaction too. Okay. That's what it is. What it is. Record and go.
Up again. When you were being influenced, interviewed? Sir. That was not the slip to make, sir.
No.
Were you ever asked to go into the house to look for him?
No.
When you were being interviewed by law enforcement, did you ever refuse to be interviewed?
Oh boy.
Okay. Why people in Massachusetts say law? They can't say the W sound. They can't go law. It comes out with a R, and it's hard to do. Like he says law enforcement. And if you hear that, and it's like, and Jen McCabe did it really bad.
When you were being interviewed by law enforcement, did you ever refuse to be interviewed?
Law enforcement. I mean, it's
Were
like
the
it's
interviews
like a
all the same
lazy
or different?
W.
That
They were all
was a
different.
slip.
I don't know.
They were all different.
It's really odd.
Were you
Okay.
ever asked to give a
We've got
complete
ARCA, we got influencing,
review
we've
and
got
detail of
okay, now we need to
everything
find
that you knew?
expert testimony bullcrap. All right. don't remember what day was that. Emily's got everything so laid out. I think that was day 3.
Very expensive.
I was not driving recklessly. I should.
We haven't got that detail. I'm sure they have in mind who they
Experts
want. but
normally
haven't gotten to
exempt.
that point yet.
This. They did. They just ended for the day.
All right. Mr. Brennan, have you had an opportunity to think about whether experts should be permitted to either
Did
be
you review the
present?
law?
Maybe that was early in the morning when he said that.
Talk to me again.
22117 Commonwealth versus.
Are we going to get a ruling this morning? I'm ready for it.
All right, so I was told council wanted to see me.
Council, get your shit together. I'm going to try.
We want to raise for the court.
Okay.
We wanted to confirm whether experts in this case are permitted to watch testimony in order to prepare for rebuttal. We had asked for that.
For rebuttal.
All right, day 3 at the beginning. All right, let's see if somebody else caught this. What did Andrea say? Share tab. I shared it. I shared the tab. I did. Hi, Michael.
Hello, sorry.
Oh, you're good, man.
I was talking with Jody.
Oh, how's she doing?
Much better. She's a lot more animated now.
Good. Jody, nearly. Did she go get x-rays or no?
No, she self-diagnosed herself.
And she's fine?
I mean, it's a crushing injury of the foot. There's no discoloration, swelling's reducing.
Okay.
Yeah, I bet you x-rays are moot.
Yeah, no. Okay, if the swelling's going down, then yeah. Jody got a big box dropped on her, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she was starting to get some, so she sent me, I'm going to put up some foot pictures. Let me, that was a Jody foot the other day.
Hard to tell without anything to compare it to.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see the bruising on the side.
Yeah,
I mean,
right where the toes meet the foot.
Hard to see in there, but there's a little bruise or a little like spot where she lost some skin and stuff there too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
If you're turned on by that foot,
wait till you see mine.
Yeah, wait. We're not doing feet.
Yeah, who are you, Tarantino? What?
Daniel
Yeah, right.
Whitley's
Oh my gosh.
cross-examination, and it's not clear if the defense is going to be coming back to him or not. Daniel Whitley's to him.
7 Commonwealth versus Karen Reed.
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes,
Good morning.
we just have one brief issue we want to raise for the court.
Okay.
We wanted to confirm whether experts in this case are permitted to watch testimony in order to prepare for rebuttal. We had asked for that.
For rebuttal, like post
Responding,
for responding. Okay.
in our case, in chief, for both sides.
Okay. What's your position? Ms. Little, you want to?
Yes, we could.
All right. Mr. Brennan, is there any reason not to?
I need to give it some thought. I'm not
You need
willing
to give
agree.
thought
I'll
to
abide by whatever the
sequestration?
court thinks is fair.
So why don't you think about it? We'll address it later today.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, there's no expert testimony
every attorney
today,
that's
right?
seen this has gone, why? I mean, I think, dude, my thought would be it's just because. And I'm not sharing now either. It's just because. What is going on? Oh, there you are. It's just because the defense wants it, so the prosecution doesn't want it, right? Is that all it is now? Michael?
I missed it. Sorry.
The whole expert testimony thing. Is
Yeah.
it just because the defense wants it, the prosecution says, no, I don't want it?
Well, yeah, you know what? I guess that's kind of the way politics go in America today. If the other side's for it, I'm against it.
Right. I mean,
There's like no stipulation. There's no. There's no agreement. It seems like there's no quest for the truth here.
Right.
Just a quest for us to prevail.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And just a quest for us to get to not give you anything that you want, even if it's reasonable. Right. Like you don't get it because it's your side and we don't want you to have it.
Despite the rules of court saying there can be no surprises and the other side must get it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's go ahead and record this because this is another Brennan stupidity moment.
Of course they do.
Good morning, Your Honor. Yes,
Good morning.
we just have one brief issue I want to raise for the court.
Okay.
We wanted to confirm whether experts in this case are permitted to watch testimony in order to prepare for rebuttal. We've asked for that.
For rebuttal, like post
Responding,
for responding. Okay.
in our case in chief, for both sides.
Okay. What's your position? Ms. Little, you want to?
Yes, we
All right. Mr. Brennan, is there any reason not to?
I need to give it some thought. I'm
You
not
need to
willing
give
agree.
thought
I'll
to
abide by whatever the
sequestration?
court thinks is fair.
So
I
why
haven't
don't you think about it? We'll address it later today. Okay. There's no expert testimony today, right?
It's not.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Sure. Is that it? Ready to bring the jury in?
That's all.
You need to
wanted a
think about
ruling
it.
on the clip from yesterday?
I did.
All right. You can play it.
Thank you.
Okay, and then was there? And then I think a little bit later on, I think he still said, I don't know. Let's see what we got here. We'll just go ahead and record it anyway.
About whether experts should be permitted to either be present or watch the proceeding. And I also want to know, are you expecting to put on any expert testimony tomorrow?
Dr. Fowler will testify tomorrow. I think that should be considered expert testimony. He provides the procedures and protocol for the testing of blood serum.
Okay.
So I think he's technically considered an expert, although one of the briefer ones.
All right. Does the defense want an expert to be able to watch that?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So I know we've had a lot going on this morning. Do you want to address this tomorrow? When do you want to address whether experts should be present?
If I can address it tomorrow morning, I can consider
All right.
it.
We'll do that. And have you talked about who you all mean? Like, do you all know who you want to have exempt from the sequestration order?
We haven't got to that detail. I'm sure they have in mind who they want. I haven't gotten to that point yet.
All right.
We can have that discussion so that we can present it tomorrow what my position is and address the court on the way.
Ridiculous.
Sure, we can do that. And then I know you
Ridiculous.
said that you've got an agreement that you'll provide witnesses or a list of witnesses in advance to defense counsel, and I'm sure you'll provide witnesses in advance to Mr. Brennan.
It's so stupid. All right. Well, there's 4.
Yeah. Are the experts going to be rebuttal witnesses?
No, they'll be basically they want.
I mean, they're testifying direct, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when the state puts on their expert witness in whatever crash reconstruction or if they bring in a
blood in a solo cup expert witness,
right, or a forensic expert that's going to say that those marks on his arm came from taillight pieces, or that you can be hit by a car hard enough to kill you without giving you one bruise. If so, that expert can be when the defense puts on their case in chief, they can say that expert's stupid. Right?
Yeah. But if this is being broadcast, then the person doesn't get to sit through the testimony today to talk about what this expert said tomorrow. Oh, they could just go watch the broadcast, couldn't they?
Technically, yeah.
Or they're talking about sequestering the witness.
Yeah, they're talking about lifting the rules of sequestering the witness for you know, just those certain testimonies when one expert is testifying. It's like a lot of times the investigators, if you in a criminal case, don't a lot of times the investigators can be there for the whole thing, right?
Well, I only when I was in the courtroom, I only did civils, but normally as a witness, member of the public, what have you, if you're not going to testify, of course, you're welcome to have a seat.
Right.
But if you are, you're not allowed to have a seat until you've testified, and neither side expects to recall you.
Right.
And from there, you can go from the witness box to a seat in the gallery. But you spent the whole time and before then outside waiting to be called.
Right. But no, I've seen cases though where
fourth guy from the left of the crowd just stands up and that's me. I'm here to talk.
Yeah, no, where like the lead investigator has testified multiple times and been at the prosecution's table. Like I've seen that happen before. I don't remember what case it's been, but I've seen that before where they have let the lead investigator or whatever watch everybody else's testimony and then get up on the stand and testify. So I know I've seen that happen before. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I've dreamed it. I don't know. I could have dreamed it. All right, I want to see.
He's just giving advice how to present his case.
Yeah, right. From the judge.
Right. Wow. Your picture's frozen.
Damn it. Because I'm not sharing the right thing. Fuck. I'm so bad at that.
That was made to you?
I'd have to
kill me.
May I approach?
Yes.
He sounds grumpy with the guy, man.
This is page 81, lines 1 through 4. Please read it to yourself.
Right here, sir.
1 through 4, please.
He did ask for a sidebar. I guess she rejected him because we can't see his face. But the risk that you run by calling a sidebar on everything is that you piss off the jury.
Oh, that wasn't the
But
judge.
At this point,
Yeah.
Yes.
but it's a good point, Sharon.
Because she will not only does she not allow speaking objections, she does not allow you to even give a reason why you are objecting. So if you want to object for hearsay, right? You don't get to say objection hearsay. You just get to say objection. And she gets to guess as to what you're objecting for. How's that sound? Does that make any freaking sense?
Not at all.
Right? Like you could say you're trying to object to something because the form of the question's not correct, and she thinks you're objecting because it's hearsay. She can say overruled because she thinks you're objecting to hearsay and not because the form of the question was wrong or something like that, right? But you don't even get to say that. So
you don't get to say objection relevance. You just get to say objection.
Correct.
Well,
yeah.
Civil procedure here, you're supposed to just, stand up to address the court, but stand up and just raise your hand, Your Honor, I object. And then the judge says, what's your objection?
Mm-hmm.
And then your objection has merit or it doesn't, but
Not in her
And,
court.
and that's when you're pro se. Attorneys, they're supposed to know how to act in court already.
Yep. Nope. Not in
You'd
Bev's
be
court.
surprised how many don't know you're supposed to stand up.
Yeah. Nope. Bev's court. You don't get to say anything.
Yep.
Now, when you made that statement you were asked about in the grand jury, you didn't just say, like her last words, did you?
No.
You explained your memory to the grand jury?
Objection.
Ask him what he told the grand jury.
Okay. The grand jury, do you know it was on April 21st, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. And did you tell the grand jury? So
I'm going to see counsel at sidebar for a second.
Please, for the love of the traveling Mary. And here's the thing. Carrie Roberts lied to the grand jury when she told them that she heard Jennifer McCabe asking Karen, she heard Karen tell Jennifer McCabe to Google hypothermia. Well, she said, I heard her say to Google how long hypothermia. She lied to the grand jury about that. If this man also.
So just to stop for another second about this whole Carrie Roberts lied to the grand jury thing. We went over that pretty extensively the other night, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
When she said that she heard
right
say to Google that, hypothermia, right? What the defense did not do was go over the fact that not only did she say that, when she said, "Oh, I misunderstood the question," he should have gone back and pointed out again that she painted a very vivid picture of how she heard her say Google hypothermia. She said, "I was standing right by the open car door. We were all praying together. We were right there." And then she said, "Google hypothermia. How long? Google hypothermia," right? So she painted this very vivid picture of that point in time when she supposedly asked to make that Google search. And the defense did not go back and hit on that again. I think that probably should have been hit on again. That not only did you lie, you made this very big, broad thing about it, right?
Right.
Does that make sense?
And she was never even faced anything for perjury or
nope.
Well, perjury's a tough one anyway.
Nope, not at all. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get a little bit of this. All right, let's record some of this. Nope, not yet.
Yes. And
stop.
earlier in the night, do you know if she was referring to 12:30
I did not know.
or 12:15
No.
or midnight?
I didn't know the time.
So his answer is he doesn't know.
You testified in the grand jury, and Attorney Jackson just asked you some questions about part of the statement you made to the grand jury when he said, like her last words. Would you like to put that in context of the whole statement you made? Do you remember
her last words?
Do you remember the entire statement that you made in the grand jury about the statement that was made to you?
I'd have to.
May I approach?
Yes.
This is page 81, lines 1 through 4. Please read it to yourself.
Right here, sir.
1 through 4, please.
He did ask for a sidebar. I guess she rejected him because we can't see his face. But the risk that you run by calling a sidebar on everything is that you piss off the jury. But at this point,
Yes.
but it's a good point, Sharon.
Now, when you made that statement you were asked about in the grand jury, you didn't just say, like her last words, did you?
No.
You explained your memory to the grand jury?
Objection.
Ask him what he told the grand jury.
Okay. The grand jury, do you know it was on April 21st, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. And did you tell the grand jury? So she
I'm going to see counsel at sidebar for a second.
Please, for the love of the traveling Mary. And here's the thing. Carrie Roberts lied to the grand jury when she told them that she heard Jennifer McCabe asking Karen, she heard Karen tell Jennifer McCabe to Google hypothermia. Well, she said, I heard her say to Google, how long? Hypothermia. She lied to the grand jury about that. If this man also told some untruths to the grand jury, this entire indictment is bogus.
Yes.
God save us from the
I'm
Commonwealth.
showing you that statement that you made that includes last words, but there's more to the statement, isn't there?
She was upset.
I'd like you to read
Oh,
your
sorry.
entire
Sure.
statement, 1 through 5. You can read it out loud.
So she was also she was upset also because she said they had, the last time they had talked, she had gotten into an argument. So she was upset that was like her last words to him.
The last time they had talked.
And so when you
So how you're not supposed to read from grand jury testimony.
You could use that to refresh your memory, but you're right. You're not supposed to read from the script.
So she, the judge, let dude read from the text, read the actual text because he couldn't remember. Now, there were opportunities with Carrie Roberts with the defense that she absolutely said, this didn't refresh my memory. He said the same thing, yet he gets to read his testimony, and when the defense is crossing somebody, that doesn't. I mean, so it's just every one of these things, dude, that one person gets something. She lets the prosecution do whatever the heck they want, and the defense gets in trouble for it, is basically what happens. I'm so blown away by this. It's incredible, dude. It's absolutely incredible. All right, well, that I think was 5. I got enough to do 5 top Mr. Hanky. I think we should call him Mr. Hanky. What do you think?
Yeah, we come up with something better.
Yeah. Mr. Hanky, the
yeah, it's
poo.
Yeah, I don't want to go there.
You're not a South Park guy?
No, I am. I'm not a Mr. Hanky fan.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, we'll have to come up with something. Well, I'm going to go make a video. Yeah, that's true. It would be an insult to Mr. Hanky, wouldn't it? You didn't like the Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo?
No, it's not that I didn't like it. It was. I do like South Park. I like the work they do and whatnot.
Right.
It's just there ain't nothing sacred to those two guys. I mean,
right.
They will make an episode about anything.
Yeah.
More than Family Guy, more than Simpsons. Nothing's off the table with them.
Oh no.
Yeah,
no, exactly.
Nothing.
No, dude. When we went to see the Book of Mormon, I
didn't see it, but
oh my gosh, dude! It's insane what they did with the Book of Mormon. It really is. I mean,
it's the Book of Mormon.
It is so hilarious. Oh no, I know, I know, but just
Jody's not watching issue.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, the Book of Mormon it is so funny though. It is it's ridiculously funny, but it's also it's vulgar as heck. There is some storylines on there that are just I don't know. you'll have to someday you'll have to watch it if there's I don't know, is there a movie or can you watch the play on I don't even know, but anyway. All right, so Monday's a big day for this trial. Monday afternoon is the Arca Vordar. How do you say it? Vordaer?
Wadir.
Wadir. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's some people pronounce it. I've heard it pronounced differently, but the Wadir of the Arca experts is on Monday afternoon. So we will find out about the billing. We will find out about the text messages. We will find out about the, I mean, it is insane. He went through that entire timeline of how long voir dire. Thank you. The timeline of how long it's taken them to get the expert opinion from the Commonwealth, the people that have all of the responsibility to prove her guilt, right? But you also have to give the defense every opportunity to prove she wasn't guilty. And not even prove she wasn't guilty, just raise reasonable doubt. But if you're going to let an expert have an expert opinion and you're not going to give the defense the time to rebut that expert opinion, what are we even doing? How's that even work? Any idea?
In Massachusetts? No idea.
Yeah. I know, dude. Yeah. So maybe we'll have some excitement on Monday. Maybe there'll be some exciting testimony too in this case, and it'll pick up. And because they've got to get the leaf blowers in there, right? Are they just gonna completely ignore all that? Because there's been no real evidence about anything yet. It's all just been this stuff with the EMTs. That's not even circumstantial evidence, is it?
Hard to say.
I mean, I know it's hard to predict what a jury's going to do, but my God, where are we even at? I don't even know. This is the most screwed up trial in the history of trials. You're right. It's slimy and unconstitutional. And, I think the worst outcome of this whole thing would be another hung jury. And then they decide to try her again. Could you imagine?
Oh, could you imagine a third trial? Like how much they're really hamstringing her on that one.
Oh, God, I know. And how would you even find a jury?
I don't think it's that hard. You could find a jury. I don't think you could find a jury in Canton, Massachusetts, but you could somewhere in the state.
No, that's what I mean. You would have to move. You would definitely have to move. Yeah.
Because they've definitely gone through the pool of possible juries given the two trials.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's all emotional. We've had nothing but emotional testimony. And then we had some testimony today about her blood alcohol level, and that's been it. So anyway, all right. I'm gonna go make a video. Michael, what do you got going on tonight?
I got a little burn back there to finish up or turn off to come back to later, and Jody's house sitting, so I'm gonna debate whether I go there or not. You gotta love house sitting, it's never some guy with a crap apartment in a lousy part of town wants you to house sit. That we call checking the mail. It's a person who lives in a nice place with nice stuff, wants it watched after.
Oh,
that's a pretty sweet deal.
That's a good deal. Heck yeah.
And they pay.
Patty is going to go watch more storage unit videos. Dude, I'm going to get you to a story. We're going to go to a storage and we're going to stream it and record it.
Actually, most of the ones I've looked into here are online. So there's you get like a picture of a a door open in front of a storage unit and you bid on it or you don't.
You don't get to go see it live?
Yeah, what? So you go see that the boxes are brown?
Well, yeah. Or like what if there's any cracks in the furniture that's in there or whatever.
But you definitely don't get to enter.
No, I know.
Yeah.
You can only see it from the threshold, but they don't even do that here at all.
And I don't check a couch without sitting on it. So
no. Well, you never know. You might find a treasure.
Yeah, you might also pay for a couch and then sit on it, only have a spring go right through your butt.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. We're going to have to try it one of these days.
Bitter tears, people. Bitter tears.
We'll have to try it one of these days, Michael. You never know.
Yeah, right. Some dude could have 30 grand cash just stuck behind an old painting he was hiding. Yeah.
Right? It's possible.
No. People that say that happened to them are laundering money.
Have you there's this this guy named Jeremy Hales is like he does the whole storage unit thing, and yeah. He's got a pretty big YouTube channel, but he's also got a crazy neighbor that he sued, and it's like that is like a whole entire freaking ecosystem by itself. It's like
one of our consigners who's been with us since the beginning of the business.
Yeah.
He's heavily involved in the storage auctions and whatnot.
Okay.
He's an auctioneer. His parents are auctioneers. He basically like grew up in the family of it.
Oh, wow.
And that's pretty much like his banking system almost.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And then he brings stuff in here to
all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. See,
yeah, it's got to be a feast or famine lifestyle, though.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yep. I agree. You see that right there, Michael?
Yeah, I caught that. Yeah. Yeah, I got that. But I do actually go through auctions though, but it's for individual items almost always. So
no, exactly. You
there's some drawbacks to that too, because it's the same thing. I don't get to, go test drive the couch before I decide to bid on it.
Right.
But at least the auction company I'm going through, I've haven't really been screwed over by them. So I trust that they're putting out arguably quality, store ready stuff.
I wonder if I got any pictures of that. The best auction ever was the freaking office furniture auction.
That was pretty sweet score.
Yeah. You've only got like these things behind us. You've still got a few of those bumping around here, don't you?
Yeah. You haven't seen my driveway lately.
Oh, are they all in the driveway?
I got stuff to get rid of too in the driveway, as well as my storage site over there.
You don't have any of the desks left though, do you?
I got the one on the floor, or do I have two on the floor? No, just one on the floor, and then a couple tops and whatnot.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are just landfill stuffer right now.
No,
exactly. Or that's going to be their end residence.
So Michael calls me up because we were talking about, trying to film our office scenes, and we were trying to figure out if we had some furniture around the store to get our office scenes together. And I get this phone call. I'm at work. And Michael goes, "How did you start it out? Do you remember?"
Probably it's like, "Are you busy?"
Yeah.
Well, no, I think I told you about that. I had won the auction, and then to go pick it up. For some reason, Benji didn't have school that day, so I had him with me. Not that he would help much at that age, or not that he would help at his age today. And then I just had my cargo van to put it in.
Yep.
And I really underestimate the size of this lot.
So he bids on and wins this lot of office furniture, and it is basically somebody has taken apart. It was a city. It was from the
A
city.
municipal office,
It
yeah.
was a municipal office, and somebody's taken apart the entire office, desks, the panels for the cubicles, the big lighted freaking
The skeletons for
cabinets.
the modular furniture.
And then, oh yeah, and then all the heavy metal brackets for the putting the thing together.
Everything but the instructions.
Oh my God. And then, so he's like, okay, I scored. We can film our office thing, but he did not realize how much this thing was. And so he had to rent a U-Haul.
This is after I made like 2 trips in my van, filled my van what I could, came back to the store, unloaded it, go back to another trip, and I got to give up. This isn't going to work, especially I got to have this stuff out of their warehouse, by the end of the day, if you will. And it's me and Benji is just cheerleading. And so I had to, Rob, are you busy? Just,
So,
do you have a truck?
So me and my coworker, who'd only been there like 2 weeks, I'm like, hey, dude, we have to go help my buddy. And we show up, and I can't believe the size of this lot. I mean, it's taking up like a big
chunk of this warehouse.
A big chunk of this warehouse. Thankfully, so Mike brings down the U-Haul. Thankfully, the guy takes some pity on us, and the stuff that's on a pallet, he picks it up with their forklift and loads it into the van. So at least we could get that, get it loaded up.
And he showed quite a bit of skill too, because he did like pallets on top of each other.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't really an issue, but yeah, it got us out of there by the time they closed for the day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And then Rob still stayed even later, just unloading the stuff out of the back of the U-Haul into the store. And
we filled up the entire back room of that store with office furniture. And then Jody showed up, and she's like, what in the world? Where did my studio? Because it was in her studio, of course. She's like, what did you do to my studio? Why did you fill up my studio with your furniture?
And then we had to go make an office, and we did a superb job.
Oh, we did a bang up job of making that office.
Bang up's is a good description of how that went. Just trying to hammer these things in place, and it's not going. Can't figure out why. Later to find out we're putting it in upside down or something.
Yeah,
or left where right goes. Yeah, and oh my gosh, but yeah, just trying to hammer one end in, the other end falls on your head, and because I remember watching people like build a new office before, and they're just throwing those things up like they're the install team, apparently.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, how hard could it be? These guys did it. And well, apparently those guys had training.
Oh yeah. So this was us at the filming, and you can kind of see the office pieces there that we banged together.
Yeah.
And there's another kind of behind the scenes from the filming, but that was hilarious. But yeah, that was a big score in the whole.
That was a pretty sweet $30 I spent on that.
$30. Got an entire office of desks and cubicles and everything for $30. Yes, we probably spent $1,000 worth of labor moving the stuff around, setting it up, tearing it down, moving it over here, moving it into the house. But it was worth it. It's worth it because we have this lovely story now. So, all right. We'll be back Monday. I'll be back Monday. I don't know if you're coming in Monday, Michael, but I will be here.
Well,
Monday.
I always tend to be here regardless, but yeah.
So maybe we'll stream from here on Monday, and we'll see what happens with ARCA on Monday. That's going to be a big decision, and I'm pretty sure she's going to say, "I'm going to take this under advisement." Oh, let me get me off here. Get you on there. There's John Wayne. Why are you John Wayne?
Well, I had to pick a name.
Okay.
I was thinking of Full Metal Jacket when they're all standing in line and Matthew Modine's character, is this you, John Wayne? Is this me?
So yeah, what
only funny to me because no one else was thinking at the time.
Yeah, what a good Friday stream, man. We had a stop by of a celebrity lawyer YouTuber. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, kind of a drive-by.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. That was really neat. So yes. All right. We'll be back on Monday, see what happens, and then I should have the 5 Crazy Hank video up tomorrow. That's going to be my goal. I do have some stuff going on tomorrow, so it might be Sunday, but it'll be over on this weekend sometime. I'm going to maybe try and go home and do it tonight. We'll see. I don't know. So, Michael, have a wonderful night.
Yes.
I will talk to you guys later.